Yes, it's working. Perfect. Hi,
Perfect.
everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Netta here. I'm coming to you from Toronto. I'm here with Karen, an amazing lady, a successful lady that I always inspired. She had blessed me with being the host on my page. So thank you so much, Karen, for being here. For those people who are watching, maybe from your page, I'm going to share this video with you after. My name is Neda Behzadeh Ward. I mean, Ward is my last name. My husband's last name is so much shorter and easier. That's why I'm using it all the time. I'm a mom of twins. I have two kids. They're 7 years old, a boy and a girl. So you can imagine I already have half of my hair white. This is all like, colored. And it's been very tough journey to raise them, and I'm blessed with them. But I'm a mother as hard as it gets, and I'm a wife. I do still work full time beside doing this business. I do work in the construction industry. I have been an engineer for over 20 years. But I haven't stopped doing this business because I'm so passionate about it, and that's what I would like to share with with you as well, with Karen. And Karen, for people who are watching this from my page, would you mind introducing yourself and where you live?
Oh, sure. Well, first off, thank you so much, Netta, for having me here. It's such an honor and blessing. Likewise, you are always an inspiration for me. I love seeing your journey and your success and just the rawness, the realness that you always put out there, and
Thank
all the
you.
inspiration to empower other women like ourselves that we can be better. Anyway, my name is Karen, and currently I'm living in British Columbia, so Vancouver, BC, where I'm on the West Coast, whereas Netta's more on the East
Nice.
Coast of Canada. Currently with my husband and two children. My kids are a bit older. My daughter just turned 18 in July, and she's in first year university. My son is in grade 10. And by profession, I am a dental technician. I actually own and operate a small dental lab out of my own home for over 10 years. Before I started this business, I've been doing this online business for over 4 years now. And
Great.
just like Netta, I am still working, not completely full time, because I guess it's my own business. So I know full time for me is a weird definition. Okay. Because
Yeah.
before this business, full time for me was like 7 days a week, 12 to 16 hours a day. So you can imagine, with that kind of work schedule, you really have no time for anything other than sleep, eat, repeat it again.
Yes,
What
exactly.
motivated me, or kind of made me want to look into finding something else where I can still supplement our family income, but without sacrificing all of my time. Because as children, Netta, you're just blessed that your kids are still only 7. Because when I found this business, my daughter was starting to go into high school, and
Mhm.
that's what made me realize, if I don't do anything, I'm just going to look back in a few years and
Yes.
probably live with a lot of regrets where we
Yes.
missed all those years. So that's what pushed me to kind of, like we always say, stepped out our comfort zone. Because prior to this, I've never done anything online. I don't even own a social media account, but
Yes.
because of our kids, that's why we're here. Yeah.
Yes, no, absolutely. I really love Karen because she's a strong woman, and we have a lot of strong women everywhere in the world, especially in our community. We're very multicultural. I'm from Iran, and for those of you who are watching, I just hug you from far, far away. And we believe in women. We believe in freedom. We believe in having extra income opportunities so that we can help our families, we can help our husbands. When I started this business, what I was thinking about was my family mostly, and maybe supporting my immediate family. But this business has provided so much for even the people from my country back home, the people who really needed help, and I was blessed to be able to take their hands, and I really believe in it. Karen and I both know that there isn't any get rich quick in any businesses. If somebody comes and promise you you're gonna get rich in one day, just be sure that that's a scam. What I love about Karen, because when I started this business, I think she was in the business already maybe like 6 months or half a year, and she's very successful. But then also she built her success from her hard work, her perseverance, and her commitment to success. And that's what you have been always so inspiring. Do you want to tell people who are debating whether this is for them or not, like a little bit about your experience? You said you will never look back, and you will have no regret because of your children. Can you elaborate a little bit about that?
Oh, yes. So, I mean, for any of us, we are all given the same 24 hours a day. So how do we use that? I mean, we are all blessed to be, Nana and I, here to live in this country of freedom where we have choices, where we can, freely go work and provide for our family. But I think at the same time, this lifestyle also steals away all the time from our family and our children. And I think, I'm sure you feel the same way, but as
Yes.
our mom, I think the most painful thing is to look your kids in the eye and say, no, I can't do this with
Yeah.
you and such, because I have to work. Because kids can never understand, why do you have to work all the time? Because their life is, it's
Yes,
all rainbows and
absolutely.
sunshine. So it's the
Yes.
hardest thing. But to the point that I feel like they stop believing in me and they stop asking me, because they know that and we feel stuck because we have to continue that work to provide for our family. We have bills to pay, mortgage to pay, food to
Yes,
put on the
yes.
table.
Yes.
And it's painful. Every night I would go to bed with like that guilt, and always promising myself, tomorrow I will take that extra time and
Yes.
do, play a board game with them, or watch TV, or do something fun. But then when
Yes.
the day things start taking over, and I just have to put them at the back, like at the
Yes.
bottom of my priority list, because
Yes.
because as a parent, I think you have that power over your kids, right? You can say no, and you can just make them wait. And I felt
Yes.
really unfair. And like I said, when my daughter entered high school, that's when I realized, I don't want to have this life, and I don't want to look back in a few years and feel, oh my goodness, like, why didn't I do something? Because we cannot turn back the time. You can always make more money, but you can never buy back the time that you've missed.
Yes. Yes.
So I looking into other ways of supplementing our income, but I think any traditional style business still require you to be physically there. So I'm like,
Yes.
that's not going to work with my crazy schedule already. So then
Yes.
when I stumble across this business, and at first, probably like most people, I was scared, I was skeptical, because I never believed anything online, right? And
Yeah.
especially with zero tech skills,
Yes.
I didn't have the kind of like the faith or the belief that I could do it. But once I
Yes.
joined the community and I saw a lot of just ordinary mom like myself that are making this business work for them and having that time with their kids. So I pushed all my kind of fears aside, and I just went, I just started, because I realized, even if I'm not successful, at least I can look back one day and say, I did my best. I did what I could.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
but like you said, that was the best decision so far up to now in my life. And the only regret I may have is that I didn't find this business sooner. Then I would have had
Yes.
more time
Same.
with my kids. Yes.
Yes. Yes.
So I'm very blessed. And like Nana said, it is not a get rich quick. So, I mean, it does take time, dedication, and commitment, even with but the one thing that is super good for me, that why it was a good fit for me, because the flexibility of this business, because I was already running a full-time dental lab, which I cannot shut down to jump into this, because we still have bills to pay. And this
Yes.
business I know would take time to build, but
Yes.
because of the flexibility, I can work anytime. So I did make the sacrifice of, sleeping 1 to 2 hours less. So I would stay up a bit later after my other work is done to do the training, to get my business set up. But it's paid off, because 4 years now, I have scaled back my dental lab business to probably half the time of what
Yes.
I used to work. And then some of the other time I focus on this. So between the two business I run, I actually have more time for myself, for my kids, but my income is actually double what I used to earn working both, that full-time dental lab business. So that's the results that I have seen over the past 4 years. And I guess you could say over the first 1 to 2 years of just sacrifice of putting the extra time and everything, but it paid off. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And for those of you who don't know Karen, definitely check her out. She's amazing. She's one of the top earners. Every time I see your income post, without talking about the numbers, I'm like, this is what most of the people make in like 8 months. Even like some of them in like 1 year, and you're making that now in 1 month, and I'm doing that sometimes also in 1 month, 1 month and a half. When I started this business, all I wanted was extra $2,000 a month. I love being an engineer. I love my job. It's very hard for me now to do my job as an engineer, to do this business, to do the kids, and take care of everything. But again, when I talk to people, they're like, "Oh, I'm not sure if I will have time for it." Then I'm like, I tell them, "Well, it's not important enough for you. If it was important enough for you, you would stay awake and you would do this." When I started this business, I was going to bed at 9:30 every night because I was so tired. For people who work in the construction, when you come home, you're physically exhausted, like you have been like having 20,000 steps, like you can't even walk from one side of the dining table to the other side of the dining table. So at 9:30 I was dead tired, but then I'm like, okay, you know what, there's no other time. 6 o'clock kids are up, and then I have to take them to school, my work until 5 to 9, I'm with kids, feeding them, bathing them, everything. So that's the only time I have. So you have to compromise something, you have to come up with something. And also to get the businesses started, a lot of people say, oh, people who are like working in the online businesses, they don't have any money. I'm like, no, actually it's not, because in order to start an online business, you have to come up with an initial investment. We have so many students in our team who are 18 years old. We have so many retirees who are past 70 years old, and they were able to set up their business. So it's really affordable. And when you look at the income, like someone is making like 1 year of an income in like 1 month, that's the potential and that's the possibility. And this business is tax registered. It's not one of those pyramid schemes that you have to worry about. Is it real? Is it working? In many offices, like where she is in Vancouver, it has offices. In my city, Toronto, it has offices. You can physically walk into the office. There are people you can shake hands with, you can talk to. So there's nothing to really worry about. And the rest comes back to how much you want to put time every day. You can go fast with the training, you can go slow with the training, and it's going to be an amazing journey. So thank you so much, Karen, for taking the time. And I know you're a very busy person. I really admire you. I love what you're doing for our community. I love our community. When the first time I entered that community, I'm like, bunch of scams. Like I was 99% sure it's a scam. And then there was this woman who posted her income. She was a senior lady, and she said, I think she made like $700 or something. And she posted the income saying, oh, today I made $700. I'm like, you know what? I'm seeing all these big numbers, thousands of dollars, hundreds of thousands of dollars. If these people were scammed, they wouldn't let this lady post $700, check on our communities. And that's how I said, you know what, these people cannot be scammed. They are real, And then I started, going through their Facebook profiles, reading about them, checking them out. And I'm like, the more I started like researching, the more I love people. One of the people were you, one of those people that I checked out was you. And then I'm like, okay, this person cannot be scammed. And I'm so grateful that there are so many successful people in this community, and it's multicultural. There's like people from Africa, from Middle East, from Canada, US, New Zealand, almost everywhere in the world in this community, ages from 18 to I think 84, and it's an amazing supportive team. It is a great opportunity. I'm so grateful. As you said, you and I were talking. I'm so grateful that I started this business. I wish I had started it maybe 15 years ago, 20 years ago. But anyway, it was God's plan for me to start this business 2.5 years ago. So anyway, thank you so much for watching. Everyone who's watching, there's so many comments, and thank you so much for everything. And Karen, thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate that. I know you're a very busy person. I really appreciate you giving me this time and, spending the last 15 minutes with me.
It's my pleasure, Neda.
Thank you so much, and cheers to you. More successes and more blessings coming to this community's way and your way. Thank you so much.
Yeah, likewise to you. Okay.
Thank you so much, everyone.
Bye,
Have a great
everyone.
day. Bye.